Good morning to you. This is December 28th edition of the Carolina Weather Video here. I hope everyone had a great Christmas weekend. And of course, now we're to New Year's week, and a lot of action coming up in the weather here. A lot to talk about, really. Let's start off with a look at temperatures this morning across the lower 48, and notice another big plunge of cold air moving into the nation's midsection here, and this is brutally cold stuff up here in Canada, and that's going to really be diving south and eastward here over the next 24 hours or so. Now, look at the radar this morning, and there's not a lot going on across much of the lower 48, the exception being in the New England states and parts of the Great Lakes, some snow flying up there. Some of that snow's been pretty heavy in northern Pennsylvania and New York State, so if you have travel plans today that take you up there to parts of the New England states, could certainly be some delays from that batch of heavy snow moving through, but it'll be pretty short-lived as it moves on through, and it'll be in and out relatively quickly. All right, let's go to the GFS. This is the 6C run, and I'm going to show you a lot of the various models here for the next week or so, and as we go through time, and give you an idea of what's coming. All right, first of all, today, going to be a chilly and breezy day, highs into 40s, winds gusting maybe over 20 or 25 miles an hour at times. As a pretty decent push of colder air begins to settle on into the country. Tonight we drop into the 20s for lows across the non-mountain regions. And speaking of the mountains, by the way, there'll be some snow showers up in the high country today. Tomorrow, for Tuesday, a lot of sunshine, chilly, low to mid-40s for highs, and still a little bit breezy, but the wind's not as big of a factor tomorrow as what we will see throughout the day today. Out to Wednesday, and notice an area of high pressure near the Carolina coast. At the same time, here's our next storm system gathering back here through the southern plains and the lower Mississippi Valley. As Wednesday unfolds, we'll begin to see some high cloud cover move out ahead of it. That'll thicken with time as we head into Wednesday evening. And here's the look at the 6C GFS. This is valid 7 a.m. Thursday, and that's the precip that has occurred between 1 and 7 a.m. Thursday morning. So it looks like that's when we'll see the next batch of precip move in, is later Wednesday night. The Canadian is in general agreement. This is 1 o'clock Thursday morning, showing you the precipitation moving in. And at the same time, surface temperatures from the upstate up through much of the Piedmont of North Carolina at or below freezing. And the UK Met, this is 7 o'clock in the evening, Wednesday, and again, a lot of the region is close to or a little below freezing as the precip moves in. So it looks like Wednesday night as the precipitation moves in, initially could be a very brief period of some freezing rain, maybe a little sleet in a couple spots as the dry air aloft gets evaporated, or I should say is precipitation gets evaporated by the dry air aloft, maybe some sleep, and I think mainly a little period of freezing rain later Wednesday night, but that high pressure doesn't stay anchored. It does not look like off to our north. It scoots out to sea, so we should see everything warm up enough that we're just looking at a chilly rain then as we get into the day on Thursday. That's what the GFS indicates. Thursday, some lingering areas of rain, as it'll be chilly, but warm enough that I think we're just looking at plain rain through the day Thursday. Now, there's another disturbance that sort of rolls into the back side of this, and really the disturbances are too close to each other to really crank a major system on a lot of the modeling, but it's worth watching to see if we get some spacing between those disturbances enough to make one or either one of these, one or the other of these systems into a more significant system. But here we are on Friday morning, 1 a.m. This is right after we ring in the new year. And the GFS shows still some lingering moisture. Some of the other modeling is actually a little more impressive with this. So if we can see another little system developed by Thursday night, that would be as upper level temperatures are crashing. So if we do see some precip Thursday night, it would probably in many spots be in the form of at least some light snow. But that's really a big question mark right now. It all depends on how strong that second little piece of energy that dives in will be on a Thursday night. Let's go out now. This looks like a foregone conclusion. It's going to be really cold next weekend. Looks pretty unanimous amongst the models with that. This is the GFS, 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon, and that's cold. We're probably looking at a lot of 30s for highs, breezy conditions. The European is in agreement. This is 7 p.m. Saturday. These are 850 millibar temperatures, and I mean, that's cold stuff. So a good shot of really cold air for New Year's weekend. And we're probably talking some teens for lows as we get into next weekend as well. 30s for highs, teens for lows in a lot of spots. It looks really quite chilly. All right, now let's look out into the longer range here. And I really see no indication at all of the cold pattern relaxing in the eastern United States. This is the NAO, the North American Oscillation, or sorry, the North Atlantic Oscillation. And what we're looking at here is until right here, this is what's actually occurred. So the NAO has been negative for a while. Forecast here to stay negative for the foreseeable future. All right, here's the PNA, the Pacific North America graph here. And again, we've been in the slightly positive category here for a while. And the forecast is for this to remain generally on the positive side of things. That favors ridging in western North America. And finally, the Arctic Oscillation. Boy, it has been off of the charts negative. I mean, it has been way, way down here, really off the bottom of the scale. And frankly, forecast to stay really, really negative. And that's another indication of cold air in much of the central and eastern part of the country. So let's go to some of the more some additional modeling here. This is the Canadian. And this is valid 7 p.m. next Tuesday. So 7 p.m. on the 5th. Make sure I got my date right. First, second, third. Yeah, 7 o'clock in the evening on the 5th, next Tuesday. And it's probably a little tough to see, but notice this top right panel here. You're looking at one area of low pressure riding up to the west of the mountains, another secondary low developing. The 850 millibar line is close to I-85, so taken literally, that's certainly a wintry precip threat. Now, the GFS doesn't have that system at that same time, but the European does, but it keeps it a little bit suppressed to the south. So we might see another system around next Tuesday or Wednesday that bears watching for wintry weather potential. The GFS actually brings one through the 7th on Thursday that scoots by to our south. But notice just lots of cold air. That's another brutal shot of cold air on the GFS around the 7th to 8th. And another storm system cruises through on the GFS the evening of the 11th. And then another big shot of cold air behind it. So, I mean, I just see no relaxation of the cold and occasionally stormy pattern right on through mid-January. So I know there's some snow fans getting impatient with how things have been transpiring. I would just say hang on. The pattern still looks really, really good through mid-January. And, I mean, I don't see any real sign of the pattern breaking in mid-January either. So, I mean, we're just in an extended period of cold and really cold air at times, and occasionally stormy conditions. So hang on, more winter weather chances in the offing and plenty of cold air in the offing as well. All right, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thanks for watching. Have a great Monday, and God bless.